Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Peter Barber. I'm a professional singer and music producer, and today we are back with truly one of my favorite artists to watch, analyze, talk about, enjoy. This is Dimash Bergen, and this is his short film / music video, The Story of One Sky. I just did a little bit of research to have some background. It's really his response, it seems like, to hate in the world and division, whether it be religion-based or political or societal or ideological, whatever. This is basically saying we may have different beliefs, we may have different upbringings, but we are all children of this planet. We are all under the same sky together. So it's really a video about peace. I know there's a lot of war depicted in the video, but that is to express, what we don't want, right? To highlight how bad war is and why we should avoid that, and we should embrace peace and love and unity. That is my understanding. I'm sure there are more messages to be found, so feel free to comment below. Comment how you feel about this piece. But that is what the short film / music video is about. I will be pausing to talk about his voice. That is the main thing I like to talk about. So I'll be pausing to talk about the voice, the music. That's where my expertise lies. That's what I'm most passionate about. But without further ado, Dimash, The Story of One Sky, 13 minutes and 40 seconds. So we are in for a long one. Let's do it. Cinematic, like sound design, for sure. Very much feels like a movie. I mean, this whole introduction is pure sound design, pure atmosphere. We've got the big impacts like you get in like a movie trailer, right? You have just building sounds and sense to create this pretty eerie world. I mean, this is a pretty dark scene we're witnessing here right from the start. One more thing I did want to mention, it apparently took Dimash 3 years to compose the music, and he composed the music for this entire thing. The lyrics were written by someone else, Alina, I believe. But 3 years to compose the music for it. Let's keep going. Good to be alive. Good Lord. Lilia Vinogradova. Okay, before the vocals come in. Okay, so the music starts and we have strings and piano. That's it, just string section and piano, high strings and piano before the voice part starts. And I remember in this article they were talking about how the story essentially begins with two friends who are guys and a girl, and they both like the girl. And I think she ends up picking one of them, and they kind of separate, and then that's really where the story the result of that in the long run, we see them how separated these lives can get, I think is the general premise. But here we're in the very early stages. And then Dimash starts singing, which is my favorite thing.
Can't believe what's happening at all. Barber's crazy, we report to fall. We are the reason we're causing all that pain. To the secret one that gives us life.
This is how Dimash loves to start his pieces from a vocal standpoint. He starts it almost basically going back and forth between actually singing and really more like whispering. I mean, there are so many moments throughout this first verse where he's saying it's literally no tone at all, meaning the vocal folds are not vibrating together at all. As Elizabeth says, the vocal folds are not going wacka, wacka, wacka. They're not even touching. It's just air. And the reason we can still tell speech is because speech is really formed with the tongue and the rest of the vocal tract. You don't need tone. That's why you can still understand a whisper. It's because you don't need actual tone coming through. You just need air and the shape of the vocal tract and the tongue position. But Dimash, just incredibly intimate singing to the point where a lot of it is literally just air. It's just whispering. And what this does dramatically, it brings us all way in. So we're like immediately leaned in so far to just be in the story and be engaged and be closer to what's being sung about. And the other effect is that it gives his voice and his vocals a long place to build, because we can go from this place of complete whisper all the way to Dimash's biggest vocal fireworks, his big belting, his big sopranist style singing way up in his head voice. It gives us a long place to go. So I don't know where this song goes vocally, but starting here allows it gives it room to grow and grow and grow and grow.
Can't believe what's happening at all.
Totally, just the beginning of that phrase and the end of that phrase, just air. Listen to how he starts can't and how he ends fall. All.
Can't believe what's happening at all.
Just air.
Barber's crazy, we report to fall.
It's the girl's Piper, maybe.
We are the reason we're causing all that pain. To the secret one that gives us life. Billions of hearts, billions of cells and souls and dreams. Billions of lives shouldn't ever turn to senseless horror, so disembarked.
So already this early on, he's starting to bring in more of that resonance. He's starting to bring in that epic operatic singing we've heard him do before, which means that the sound gets more powerful, the vocal fold closure gets much better. In a live acoustic setting, it would actually be much louder than the whispery, soft singing. The audio for this and the vocals for this are fully compressed, right? So the volume is going to be the same, but you can just tell by the quality of sound what would be louder if you're used to listening to voices. The note he just sang, so that's up to G4. That's already up to a high G. Very good vocal fold closure. Nice vibrato. That would be a much, much louder sound than when he's singing that whispery stuff way lower in his range. So we're already getting a taste of the resonance and power, but we still have a long way to go.
Wouldn't ever turn to senseless horror, so disembarked. Unfolded, they should
country, but I don't deprive you of your freedom. The world is open for me, and I want to give it to you.
Chances here can rebalance all that of your regret. Our future is impossible to say.
So this is a look into the future of what could happen, basically. If they don't want to dig too much. You know, I did read some about the video, but I obviously don't know everything about it. I can't remember what they said. If this actually is happening to the characters in the story, or if this is a possibility of what could happen. And I think this is Dimash here as a soldier, is it not? It's pretty dark and hard to tell. And I think this is one of the friends. Yeah, there it is. So we see the necklace that presumably Dimash gave his friend. This necklace that he made at the beach. There's a lot to focus on, right? There's a lot happening vocally too that I want to talk about, but the music video is so captivating.
As a ruler, my task is to keep order and protect my country, but I don't deprive you of your freedom. The world is open for me.
Like, that's pretty full-on operatic singing in that higher part of his chest voice. So G, high F sharp. That would be pretty powerful singing, right? But we don't get it because it's mixed. It's mixed way in there, right? We've got the dictator's voice is more present in the mix. That's kind of the focus. It seems like it's more like Dimash so far has created more of like a film score to go along with the short film rather than a music video where the music and the vocals would be much more present. It seems like, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong here, it seems like this is more of a short film that he also wrote and sang, like composed music and sang for, rather than a music video that also has like more thematic commentary. Anyway, that's my take so far.
And I want to give it to you.
Chances here can rebalance all that of your regret. Our future is impossible to say. So when all the words and Bibles falling, we decide to stop the draining. We decide to follow their light.
We're getting some higher notes in his range, but he's keeping it much lighter than he can. Like, he's still definitely allowing a long place to go vocally, assuming to build with the drama of the story, although we are in the middle of a war zone now. I mean, it feels like the music could be a lot more intense, but it's not, and he's obviously done that intentionally. Kept the music more, it's still more intimate and introspective and thoughtful rather than in your face and powerful, which is kind of what you'd expect for music in the middle of a war zone, right? Expect like some Dune shit, you know, some like big power vocals. But we're not getting that yet. It's a very interesting choice. I'm going to go on because it's such a long video, but really fascinating. And I am very much following the story more so than I normally would in a music video, because I really think this is a short film with music accompanying, you know, music as more of the background. Yeah, that's Dimash. It's the soldier.
United, we will enter every city, every house. We will lead everyone who is ready to start a new life. Anyone who resists will not find a place next to us. War is the way to unite people.
It's interesting, the lip sync has been slightly off between the text and what the dictator's saying. It must be intentional. There's no way Dimash and his team would have missed that, but that is an interesting thing, that the lip sync there is not, I guess because it's like, I don't know, maybe 1 degree of separation from reality or something, But watch that. The lip sync for the both times I've seen The Dictator has been slightly off.
War is the way to unite people.
Learn to share again. Learn to share again. Their love, not share. To leap again. We have passed the moment of imagine. Wanting the peace.
Is he referencing John Lennon's Imagine here? Imagine what all people. I actually just made a video like an hour ago for Jeff Castellucci's cover of Imagine. So that's really interesting that this line, how serendipitous. So I think I remember in the article saying one friend, right, becomes the dictator and is saying war is how we get people together, right? We bring people into this world that we're creating, and then the Dimash side of things is that it's actually love and acceptance that unites people, not war and forcing people a certain way. So that's I believe the storyline we have played out. And Piper was the girl with them on the beach.
To leap again. We have passed the moment of imagine. Wanting the peace.
I just want to. I mean, that's a really excellently sung high G, chest voice, vibrato, very operatic. We get the dark color and the sound. Just a very well sung high G.
Imagine wanting the peace. We have to stay. Time is up. It's time to save the earth, the earth.
Up to a wonderful, we go from high G to high A. It sounds like he goes in kind of a mix on the high A. It loses some of the yelly, weighty quality of the high G, but maintains all the squeal and vocal fold closure, and which is really what's important if you want your voice to carry, is that squeal in the sound. It's always been amazing to me how much he gets of that in his mixed voice and his head voice and his falsetto. So much vocal fold closure and clarity in the sound. So much ping. So, sorry to pause it there. This is, I guess, the chorus, because this is repeated text now, I think, with repeated melodies. This is technically like a chorus in this big cinematic piece, which is interesting, and I wasn't expecting, really. I wasn't expecting any kind of repeated material. But we're back to the war zone. We're back to this chorus. And I just want to flag a vocal technique thing that he uses. When he goes up, when he gets up towards this, starts going up towards this high B, you can hear him actually close the vowel down from an eh to an e. So he goes, instead of an open vowel, he uses a closed vowel and shifts into that more heady resonance, right? Loses some of the weight in the sound, but keeps all the squealo as he ascends up that tenor high B. And it's just such a wonderful demonstration of what we call vowel modification, and then really opting for more head resonance instead of chest resonance in the sound. I think it's on the word grave. No, it's not. Save. Instead of save, save. It's a much more closed sound on that high A and high B. So well done. I mean, this is all the way up to tenor high D, above tenor high C, and it's he's so good at the mixed belting, and he maintains so much vocal closure and cut in the sound. Truly, I don't know volume-wise what the difference would be in an acoustic setting. I'd be very interested. But the main thing is that it maintains cut and squeal, which is just remarkable that he is so seamless going from high chest voice into a mixed range into his falsetto. And it's all of a very similar quality and color. Like one thing vocally, just because I was just talking about how he vowel modified on save, on this time he goes up to save, same pitch, same ascension. He doesn't use the closed E. He puts more of an in the sound. Save. It's like a combination of A and to keep it just in a just maybe in the recording session he found that vowel choice was actually a little better, and it helped him maybe stabilize the larynx a little better. I don't know, but he did a slightly different vowel choice on save. The second time, it's a little more towards instead of that closed E. Listen to this. Save. He goes from like into the A. Really interesting. Sounds more operatic this way. That's a great demonstration of his skill. Singing that same phrase in a very high, powerful, belty mechanism, and then switching to a very light, airy, falsetto-y head voice. That just shows the kind of versatility, and it shows that he really can choose to sing how he wants to sing things. It's really phenomenal. I like that motif. Dune. What was I saying? So that really just demonstrates an immense amount of vocal control and technique to be able to do all of those different movements and to have them be so clean and accurate. All the while, this is way, way up in his mixed belting range, all the way up to high E, above tenor, high C. Really remarkable. I'm not going to go back and break down each phrase. I don't think that's necessary in the moment. And all the while, we're getting an incredibly powerful story. Feels like, and we saw him crying as a character, and this feels like, that kind of cry singing, right? It like artistically evokes the feeling of crying, or the essence of crying, that style of singing with the semitones and the flutters. Really, really just excellent demonstration of his vocalism. It's that high E. Is that Dimash singing the low E? I've never heard him sing that low in a pure chest voice before. I've heard him vocal fry that low, but if that's him, I've never heard him sing a nice low E. I heard a low F, I think, in When I've Got You, his music video. But low E would be the lowest I've heard him sing. That is pure false fold activation. Like, bass singing, it's very similar to growling. It's like that. It's a really, really quiet sound. Mason's definitely going to do an edit. But if you get right up on a microphone and do it, it's much, much bassier. Out here, you probably can't hear any bass whatsoever. So it's really a microphone studio type singing. You would never use a growl, this kind of growl, in a live acoustic setting, because it's not loud. It's a very quiet sound, but it sounds really intense when recorded and boosted, or if you do it on a microphone with a big sound system. Really interesting to hear him do that. Okay, so musically, we have very much this down section where it's Dimash in this very light, floaty, ghostly falsetto with just essentially atmosphere. There we have instruments playing, but it's very atmospheric, cinematic, very much like a film score, like this whole thing really is. And we're getting a lot of plot development here. While this is all happening, which maybe the music's more subdued so we can focus on that, so we can focus on what's happening more clearly in the music video. And then we just heard Dimash go up into his crazy high soprano register, so I'm interested to see if we get some vocal fireworks as Dimash doing his, just freakish sopranist singing that is one of the qualities that's so unique to him. Just the amount of control he has up there. Wait. It's really, really, really high. I need to see how high. It's crazy. That's already a soprano high B. It's a B5. soprano high D. That's a D6. And again, it's not an airy, I mean, it's a totally efficient sound. He still has vibrato in there. He still has ping in the sound. And then note from note, there's so much control. For me, this has always been the most impressive thing about Dimash's voice. His soprano range and his versatility. Those are the two things for me that are most impressive. So it's always cool to hear him. I mean, this is like I said, unique to Dimash. I really don't know just about anyone else that can sing that high like this. So we have this interesting dichotomy of Dimash holding a dead child and crying, and a mother giving birth to a child and also crying intensely. So that's a powerful image and concept. Saying pipers like the Pied Piper leading us a certain way. I thought he was talking, because earlier there was an apostrophe. I thought he was talking about his friend as a kid named Piper. So if I got that wrong, blame the subtitles. Oh shit. Hold up. Before we go on, confronts his friend, the dictator. I don't know what the friend is doing in that sketchy barn as a leader of a nation, but gets absolutely gunned, and then Dimash gets gunned by the dictator's soldiers. All the while, the craziest vocal fireworks of the song are happening. Dimash is mixed belting up to a G5 above tenor high C, all the while riffing. I don't know if I've ever heard him mix belt that high. Truly. Usually by that point, he's fully in the falsetto mode, but there's still some weight in that sound as he gets up there, which is really remarkable. Hi, G. Stop it. He goes up to the G and then does a ridiculously fast riff back down. Oh. With every death comes rebirth. I've never, of all the videos I've done for Dimash, which is like 10 at this point, hours and hours of listening, I've never heard him do really gritty belting up in his range. Never heard it. That's up on a high E above tenor, high C. Super gritty mix belting. I've never heard him do that. I wonder if he learned to do that for this video because he needed it as part of the message and the sound, or if it's something he's known how to do for a while and just now showed it off. I guess this came out in 2022, I think, but I've never heard him sing like that. And then after that, he shows what I was just talking about, which is this shift in registration from that mix belt all the way up to really high falsetto, very, very smoothly. Up to the soprano high D again. Listen to that. Just the way he shifts up. Yeah, that is the truth. Should make sure I don't miss anything. Wow, that was amazing. And really heavy. And absolutely true. Absolutely true. We don't get anywhere without talking about it. I mean, that really, not to get too political, but I mean, that is a huge issue. It feels like nowadays in the States is that it is so like this instead of like this. Like, no, it just feels like if you're on one side of the aisle, then you can't communicate with the other side. And vice versa, which makes no sense to me and never has. I think what he's saying here, dialogue, understanding, and the widespread promotion of a culture of tolerance, acceptance of others, and of living together peacefully would contribute significantly to reducing many economic, social, political, and environmental problems that weigh so heavily on a large part of humanity. Agreed, Dimash. And yeah, really amazing piece of art. This film, really powerful, very much like a film score. Had its moments where the vocals and the music was the lead, but it very much felt like a film score, like a short documentary. I know it's intended to be a short film. Fantastic. Thanks for recommending this to me, guys. I enjoyed watching. I enjoyed absorbing, and I also enjoyed, as usual, talking about Dimash's vocals, which were really powerful in this. So thank you, guys. I'll see you in the next one. There will be more. Leave your suggestions for Dimash in the comments below. Bye-bye.